So James Franco just gave an interview, and you know what? I don't think that bodes well for a certain Aquaman star. You know why? Because James Franco, he actually wants his Hollywood career back. The problem for Franco, though, is this. He backed the very system that supposes guilty until proven innocent. He backed a certain Aquaman starlet as they went after someone's career, and according to partners like Vince Jolivet and people that worked with him like Seth Rogen, we have all since thankfully moved on. Now, you and I, we are going to talk about that interview and so much more. And you know what? Once Franco wakes up to this realization, I think this desperation and pleading, it's going to turn to anger. Once it turns to anger, things are going to get fascinating. Fun times, huh? Fun times indeed. Oh, man. So, hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. I hope you are doing excellently. And as far as this interview is concerned, I found it very fascinating. Why? Because number one, James Franco, he's pretty much talking about accusations about him, how he needed to listen because that says that there are problems under the surface. And he also admits to having problems when it comes to the people that he works with.
Well, in 2018, there were some complaints about me and an article about me. And at that moment, I just thought, I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to pause. It did not seem like the right time to say anything. There were people that were upset with me, and I needed to listen. There's a writer, Damon Young, and he talked about, when something like this happens, like the natural human instinct is to just make it stop. You just want to get out in front of it and whatever you have to do, apologize, get it done. But what that doesn't do is allow you to do the work and to look at what was underneath, like whatever you did, even if it was a gaffe or you said something wrong or whatever, there's probably an iceberg underneath that of behavior, of patterning, of just being blind to yourself that isn't going to just be solved overnight. So I've just been doing a lot of work. And
now, Franco, he talks about a lot more, too. You should definitely look up the interview and check that out. But here's the thing about him. That iceberg that he's discussing, they are just allegations. He actually admits to certain wrongdoings when it comes to students behind the scenes. And those students, well, they ended up suing him. He ended up agreeing to pay $2.2 million settlement because of that misconduct lawsuit. There is no way in the world that anyone is going to let him come back. And when that happens, like I was saying, I imagine Franco's disposition, it's going to go from being desperate and thinking his career is salvageable to being angry at the very people that allowed this stuff to manifest. People he's backed, probably thinking that they're going to help him out too. And really, when you think about what he's saying too, what he was doing for years behind the scenes, it makes stuff like this an actually very, very interesting watch. See, a certain Aquaman star, they said that James Franco and them, they didn't have any type of relationship whatsoever. Despite this, you notice the date on here, 5/22/2016, 5/21/2016. That's when you have certain allegations come up. Right after that, lo and behold, who's going to end up getting on this elevator? It's going to be that nameless person, but also it's going to be James Franco. Again, he's saying, and I'm doing all of these things behind the scenes. He's saying, all of these other things, but he helped with deflection about this. I think when all of that comes to light, like I said, he finally drinks that in, he's going to understand that it didn't help him out any whatsoever, but this is proof that would actually be launched or levied against someone else. And like I said, when you look at friends and they don't help out, how do you think that's going to play? Now, as far as Franco is concerned, I know for a fact the man, he knows a lot more than he has let on. How do I know that, by the way? Well, there are documents like this. This is the declaration of once Vince Jolivet. Now, Vince Jolivet was a partner for James Franco for the longest time. He also worked around Franco when they were around a certain Aquaman starlet. Yeah, this is what he has to say. And he actually backs up things that certain person, they tried to refute. Quote, I am a producer of films such as The Sound and the Fury, In Dubious Battle, and Child of God. There were 3 of hundreds of films that I and a staff of many people tirelessly made for James Franco and Rabbit Bandai Productions. We have all since thankfully moved on. So you can see that mindset already permeating Hollywood, already permeating everyone that he worked with. They have all moved on. They are not coming back. Then he talks about the past here. In 2016, we shared offices with the charity, the Art of Elysium. Now, what is the Art of Elysium? That belongs to Jennifer Howell. Jennifer Howell is somebody that has brought up very, very interesting stories. All of them, that nameless person and her sister tried to shoot down. Well, the thing about Vince Jolivet here, he says at the time, the sister, she was actually working there. Now, the sister and Vince Jolivet, they become very fast friends. In fact, it goes much further than that, and they end up dating in the summer of 2017. He actually says great things about her, too. She was an extremely hard worker, she was smart, she was easy to talk to, and very nice. More than that, though, he details a conversation that I am sure, and I'm 110% sure about this, by the way, James Franco would know even more about because of his connection with a certain person that shall remain nameless. And here's what Vince Jolivet had to say. During a conversation we had in spring of 2016, I asked the sister why she moved in with Jennifer Howell. This would be her boss, the Art of Elysium founder. She went from a penthouse and living lush to basically living above a charity. And well, she relayed something that did not go with any of the stories we had heard at all. Now, I'm sure, like I said, James Franco, he knows even more about this. I'm sure he knows other things as well he can put out there. And when he finds out that these folks, they're not going to let him have his career back, and you know that's not going to happen, yeah, I think things are going to get really fascinating from there. But anyway, you should check out that interview. Let me know what you think about all of this, too. And again, when I'm talking about this, I'm just talking about this situation. I'm not saying or implying guilt with anyone. Everyone deserves due process. But you let me know what you think about this stuff. And as always, appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff work. Thank you.